Let you all open all your three eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramasukhanam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadusham Tattvamasyaadilakshya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures. No photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions. Please be aware of the important cautions. What is spa manifestation? Let's hear from Bhagwan himself explaining what is spa manifestation.
All the 25 states of consciousness, when they happen in you due to your chemicals and hormones ups and downs, it is powerlessness. When it happens in you out of your free will and consciousness, it is powerfulness. That's all. When you fall into sleep, it is powerlessness. When you enter into sleep, it is powerfulness. When you fall into dream, it is powerlessness. When you decide to dream, it is powerfulness. So I have added the ultimate powerfulness, Turiyatita, in your whole being and doing. Manifest all the powers. Understand, power manifestation is nothing but cognitive shift. It is not work. It is cognitive shift. Understand? It is just cognitive shift. It's not work. Work is a 4-letter word. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, playing with life, playing with being alive. Static matter, dynamic activity, strategic existence, all these three has no boundary. You are one with it. You are alive in everything. Everything listens to you. Everything decides as you want. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, raising your frequency, not work.
Now let's understand who is Paramashiva. Bhagwan himself has beautifully explained the Paramashiva in all of us.
Paramashiva does manifestation, maintenance, rejuvenation, pulling out of delusion and liberation. He resides in his supreme Paramashiva Swarupa as Ajomuha or Adhomuha, unborn, beyond form, formlessness. Is Paramashiva Swarupa. That Paramashiva Swarupa manifests with these 5 faces as Sadashiva, Tatpurusha, Vamadeva, Ahora, Satyojata, Ishana. 5 faces he manifests and does the Panchakritya, Srishti, manifestation, Sthiti, sustenance, Samhara, rejuvenation, Trobhava, pulling out of delusion, Anugraha, liberation. Understand? He does all these 5 jobs. Through these 5 phases. Now listen carefully. Tatpurusham, Vamadevam, Satyojatam, Ahoram, Ishanam. These 5 phases does Panchakrityas. Each phase, each dimension is not just one F-A-C-E phase, P-H-A-S-E phase. It's not just F-A-C-E, P-H-A-S-E. Understand? The creation, not just creation getting created, even sustenance need to be created, destruction need to be created, and pulling out of delusion need to be created, liberation need to be created. Then creation, manifestation need to be maintained. Maintenance, sthiti itself need to be maintained. Destruction, samhara, the rejuvenation need to be sustained, maintained when it is happening. Pulling out of delusion, trobhava, need to be maintained when it is happening. And anugraha, liberation, need to be maintained when it is happening. Those micromilliseconds when it is happening. So understand, Satyojata Murti as 5 phase, Ishana Murti as 5 phase, Vamadeva Murti as 5 phase, Agora Murti has 5 phase, Tatpurusha Murti has 5 phase. So, Tatpurusha Murti as is 5 phase, Agora Murti has is 5 phase, Vamadeva Murti has is 5 phase, Satyojata Murti has is 5 phase, Ishana Murti has is 5 phase. All these 5 Murtis, 5 phases put together is 25 phases of Mahasadashiva.
Bhagavan beautifully explained Paramashiva. Now, who is His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam? Let's hear from Bhagavan himself. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, is a reviver of Kailasha, the ancient Enlightenment civilization, the great cosmic borderless nation. Is an avatar from and is a supreme pontiff of Hinduism. His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, has made science of our manifestation, yoga, temple-based university for humanity, Sovereign Order of Kailasha, led by His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, and Nithyananda Order of Monks, Nuns, Hindu diasporas, are working for global peace to give superconscious breakthrough to humanity. Nithyananda Hindu University, world's largest with extended campus in 150 countries, is collecting, organizing, preserving, time capsuling, decoding, spreading, and reviving 20 million source books of Hinduism and 64 sacred arts, science like Ayurveda, music, dance, sculpting, astrology, Vastu, and many more. His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, is 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Shamalapita Sarvanyapita, ancient apex body of Hinduism and present emperor of Suryavamsa Surangi Swamrajyam. His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, has survived the worst persecution of multiple assassination attempts on person and character by anti-Hindu elements. Beautifully, Bhagavan now explains who is His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Everything is infinitely powerful. You realize your potentiality. You establish yourself in the completion, space of completion. You are God, that's all. All of us are gods. The first experience is that I was able to see everything around me, above me, the whole 360 degree. I realized not only I was able to see, I was able to feel, experience the skin of the stone on rock on which I was sitting and the skin of this body. Both carry me equally. In both I exist equally. Sangha is a place where the tattvas are taught to you, and till it becomes satya, you are supported. Akhadas are basically founded by Sadashiva himself. All is ganas, Shiva ganas. Exactly the word gana means. In your length, breadth, depth, if you are filled by Shiva, you are Shiva gana. All the Shiva ganas formed the first Akhada. Later on, much later, Kapila Muni organizes Mahanirvani Akhada. Then all other Akhadas. As Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanirvani Akhada, the oldest apex body of Hinduism, I welcome every one of you. What I am teaching is from original Agamas Yogapada. The science very clearly declares, Sadashiva is very clear, manifestation of these powers happen when you experience oneness with Sadashiva. choose your guru, the best thing is find a person who is enlightened, experienced, who can play with energy, who can directly transmit experience to you, and who is in tune with the original Shastras, the source of the knowledge. All the revealed scriptures available about the yoga directly by Sadashiva for you to do research, study, practice, question the people who teach.
The science of power manifestation is a gift to the humanity, which is authentic, time-tested, scientific, and foolproof. Diksha, or the initiation from His Divine Holiness, Nithyananda Paramashivam, makes the science directly an experience for the initiates. The experience is directly authenticated by the Pramanas. The Shastra Pramanas, the eternal, unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, the Veda and Agamas. The Apta Pramanas, the experience of the Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Nayanamars, Alvars, and Siddhars, who are the authority of Hinduism, who have scientists who time tested and verified the science of power manifestation. The Atma Pramanas are the avatar who land on the planet Earth to give a superconscious breakthrough to humanity. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, this millennium's avatar, personal experience of power manifestation. Shakshi Pramanas, or the experience of the millions of disciples, devotees, and followers initiated into the science of power manifestation by Bhagavan himself. Pratyaksha Pramanas, or the scientific studies which can be measured, measuring the effect of being in the enlightened state. Nithyananda Jnana Paddhati, powerful cognition from Bhagavan Satsang for the manifesting power of materialization. This is from Bhagavad Gita Decoded. In these verses, Krishna explains who he is. Krishna explicitly, separately separates himself from his manifested energies. In these verses, what we perceive as manifested energies, the five natural elements that are water, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, and three inner elements of the mind, intelligence and ego, are the energies, no doubt, yet they are not him. Here Krishna refers to ego as ahankara. It is our identity that we project outwards, which is always in excess of what we think of ourselves. There is another side of our ego, which is called mamakara, which we project inward what we think as us, inside us. This mamakara is always lowering than we think ourselves to be. The perpetual gap between the outer projection and the inner projection creates the self-doubt, self-suffering, stress, and disease within us. When we realize ourselves, we realize that we are divine and nothing less. Anything we think about ourselves which is lower than this is low self-esteem, is the self-doubt. What Krishna says to is true for all of us. We are above the energies that constitute us. We too are the energies that constitute our body and mind system. That all that we lack is the awareness of this truth. Our natural state is to know ourselves. Once we realize the truth that we are God, there is no difference between Krishna and us. We are enlightened. That is what Krishna came to prove. He has no need to prove that he is God. He doesn't care if we know it or not. His mission was to enlighten Arjuna, and through Arjuna, the rest of the humanity. His mission is to prove to us that we are too, we too are God. Here he beautifully says that Krishna says is true the inner image or the outer image, inner projection or outer projection, ahankara or mamakara, and the gap between that creates the self-doubt, self-denial, self-hatred. Now here Krishna is beautifully saying that whatever it is constituting our mind and body, but does not bind us. That's the greatest secret we need to know that Bhagavan is giving through this sutra, that he says, whatever you have the identity, it, it is not binding you in any way. With that powerful cognition, we'll go to the Shastra Pramana.
Spandakarika, Section 3 of Vibhuti Spanda, Sutra 3.4 and 3.5. Yatha hi arto sputo drishta savadhane pichetasi bhuyah sputataro bhati swabaloddhyoga bhavitaha तथा यत्परमार्थेन येन यत्र यथा स्थितं तत्तथा बलमाक्रम्य न चिरात् सम्प्रवर्तते.
Bhagavan beautifully says in the Spandakarika, section 3, Vibhuti Spanda, Sutra 3.4, 3.5. Indeed, just as an object which is in spite of attentiveness of the mind, it perceives and sees indistinctly at first, then appears and manifests more distinctively and clearly when observed with the strength of one visual power. We are Paramashiva, and we already know that we are Paramashiva, and the self-doubt, self-denial, self-hatred, which is created from the difference between the inner image, Mamakara, which is an inner projection, which is always lower than what we think, and Ahankara, which is always the higher than what we think. Having this conflict does not affect the inner space that who is Paramashiva. If we start looking at who is Paramashiva, we'll be very clear that these does not affect us. These does not even reflect on it. These that we perceive does not even exist in it. Like in the dream, whatever happens does not exist in our reality, most of the things. The way it exists, the way we perceive it, the way it enacts in it, and some people who come in it also does not exist. So same way, this is also a dream where nothing is there which exists in the way we perceive from the enlightened space. When we are awakened, we will understand that how beautiful, how compassionate, how we are in the oneness with everything that exists. In compassion, how we take care of our body so carefully, we will be existing in everything and we'll be in compassion with everything because we are the space of completion in everything that exists around us. We are Paramashiva that exists in all of us. And the space, the state, the everything, objects is also Paramashiva. If we can perceive something is because it is Paramashiva. It is not that object we perceive because we know about it, we learned it when we were small. No, it is because Paramashiva exists as that object who is perceiving through what we understand as perception. So everything and everything that we manifest is because we manifest and because it is part of us and because everything is consciousness, Paramashiva. Bhagavan wants us to understand how we exist as reality. The more and more we get soaked into our higher identity, manifesting powers continuously, like so beautifully, we will expand and more feel oneness with Paramashiva. The more manifestation happen from the joy, from the compassion, from the space of reality, the more we are in the soaking oneness with Paramashiva, manifesting all these reality. The integrity is the integrity in thinking that I am Paramashiva. Action is doing the action from the space I am Paramashiva. Manifestation of the reality from the space I am Paramashiva. Thinking, action, doing everything from the space that I am Paramashiva will manifest through us as reality. More and more we do the power manifestation. So the vision becomes very clear for us to live as enlightenment. Through Arjuna to the whole humanity, through manifestation, Bhagavan is reaching through the whole humanity to experience Paramashiva, Bhagavan himself, and manifesting as the powers. Let's go to the Apta Pramana. Bhagirath was a king. This is from Mahabharata, Vanaparva, section 108. Bhagirath was a king of Isaku's dynasty, who brought the river Ganga, personified as a river goddess Ganga, to earth from the heavens. When he became prince of Sagara dynasty, learning the awful end of his forefathers who were unable to attain region of gods, with a sorrowful heart handed over his kingly duties to his ministers and went for practicing the austerity in the Himalayas. He did penance for 1,000 years according to the God timeline on the advice of his guru Trithala to please Ganga, to gain the release of his 60,000 great uncles from the curse of the saint Kapila. Ganga told him if she will descend from the sky to the earth, the force of her fall will be difficult for sustain. She asked him to obtain the favor of Shiva, as no one except him is able to sustain her. He then gave severe penance for Shiva and asked him to do so. Shiva granted him the boon, which eventually led to descent of the goddess Ganga in the form of the river Ganga, the most sacred water body. He went to do the penance.
Reached sage Kapila's ashram, still searching for the horse. Indra had hidden it there, but the princess thought that the sage had stolen it. All of them started shouting at him, and the commotion distracted sage Kapila from his long meditation. He opened his eyes, which had been closed for many years, and with one glance burnt all the 60,000 sons of Sagara to ashes. The souls of these 60,000 sons could not attain moksha, as their final rites had not been performed. Hence, they had no choice but to roam the earth in the form of ghosts. Anshuman, their nephew, started penance to appease Brahma to bring the river Ganga down to the earth, so that the souls could be purified by her waters and hence attain moksha. Go down to the earth and flow over the ashes of Sagara sons so that they could attain moksha. But goddess Ganga felt insulted at Brahma's order and decided to fall onto the earth with tremendous force so as to sweep the regions out. And she did so. The earth was flooded with angry Ganga's waters. Bhagirath was worried for his kingdom from Ganga's floods and prayed to Lord Shiva for help. Shiva agreed to help Bhagirath. He caught Ganga along with her waters in the locks of his matted hair and tied them up, thus locking Ganga there. Then he let her out in a gentle stream and thus saved the earth from a great flood. The touch of Shiva humbled Ganga's arrogance, and she agreed to help Sagara sons. As
such amazing that 60,000 people were cursed and they got liberated when they went and took a bath in Ganga water. Holy Ganga Mother always takes all the sins of all of us when anyone dips in Ganga. And enlightened master, when they dip, they energize the Ganga, so purifies her so much, so beautifully, that Ganga becomes so happy and again she starts doing her job. So beautiful. Now let's go to the Shakshi Pramana, Atma Pramana.
Tree other than our, and all of you need to know that around the campus not a single person has water. In this whole 1,000-acre around the banyan tree, other than our Adinam, nobody has underground water. Around 20 properties are there all around the Adinam. Not even one person has borewell water. They have dug, I think, 50 borewells. As recently as 2 weeks before, few weeks before. Nobody got water. Inside our property, we got water in 500 feet, 6-inch water. Then our neighbor put the borewell just 50 feet away. 1,000 feet, no water. I don't know whether directly comes from Ganga, special connection to... No. Even I am wondering. No, it's not that I don't want them to have water. I told them, you tell me that when you are free, I will come and bless it and let you also have water. It's not that I don't want them to have water, but I am telling you the reality as it is happening now. Nobody has water all around. These guys told me that, Swamiji, we need at least 10 more borewells. I said, all right, you tell me where all is convenient for you to build the tank. I will put the point. They said, no, Swamiji, first you have to say where the water is. Then we will dig the borewell and we will build the tank. I said, no, that is outside. That is outside. You tell me where you want the water. Then finally I walked around and they said this place will be good for over a tank as per the master plan. All right then, put the walking stick, Trishul, take the water.
Amazing how Bhagwan manifested the power of water, Ganga appearing anywhere he touches. So beautifully she rushes to Paddhati like all of us. Now we have a devotee, Ananda Priya, who has manifested kumkum on her Guru Padaka, and she is in overflowing joy that Bhagwan is blessing her with the kumkum. Now let's go to the instruction for manifesting the power of sacred powder, Ganga water, honey, in a test tube, sealed test tube before one. So let's go to the Pratyaksha Pramana and instruction for manifesting the powers.
We will now begin the Pratyaksha Pramana, the scientific studies measuring the effects of being in enlightenment state. Teleportation involves dismantling an object using an energy which is deeper than the mind, transporting it through the air and assembling it again. The most significant phenomena that happens during teleportation is not the size or material of the object or the distance to which it is teleported. It is this: the whole space vibrates in the same frequency in which the teleportation happens. If A is the teleporter, B is the teleported object, and C is the space where it happens, B and C need to vibrate in the same frequency as A. For example, when teleportation happens in your hand or in your presence, your very mind and body raise their frequency to receive it. The object being teleported itself does not matter much. It may be just a little vibhuti, sacred ash, or kumkum, vermilion, or it may be a diamond, or it may be sacred Rudaraksha bead, or it may be a pebble. But in the vibration of the teleportation is something extraordinary. That is the benefit for humanity. Reference from Avatar Shastra, Chapter 10, Science of Miracles, page 214. On 6th of September 2011, 3 different studies were conducted. During a 4-hour session in which His Divine Holiness Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam materialized a variety of objects through this individual, including sacred ash and precious stones. The studies were whole body baseline CT scan of the subject. Baseline whole body CT scans proved the absence of any hidden objects in the whole body and vicinity of the subject. After the energy transfer from His Divine Holiness Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam to the subject, a repeat scan clearly shows the sudden appearance of the radio-opaque foreign body in the oral cavity without any delay or repositioning. The recording of the spiral CT after materialization revealed the presence of materialized objects, both in section and 3D format. The Science of Miracles, Avatar Shastra. On 6th of September, year 2011, location Paddhati. In one afternoon session, less than 4 hours, His Divine Holiness Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam manifested a series of more than 108 exquisite handheld artifacts through his Divya Sariri energy channel, Manitya Mahayogananda. They included a wide range of sacred objects with varying molecular structures, from onyx and crystal to rose quartz, ruby and jade, indicating a consummate command of the science of teleportation. Some items are raw stones, while others have been polished, and the most beautiful and wondrous of all are perfectly carved miniature murtis, or religious statuary. All this sprang effortlessly from the divine visualization space of His Divine Holiness Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Power, Materialization. Power 9. Manifesting sacred powder, Ganga water, or honey within a sealed test tube at a distance. Setting up. Before entering into the power manifestation process, please ensure to have the following with you. Number 1, a partner across a distance. Number 2, ask your partner to have a sealed test tube before him or her. Number 3, a camera with timestamp for your partner. Number 4, Jnana for you. Now please take a few moments to guide your partner to set up his or her camera. Step number 1, download timestamp app. Step number 2, click on video. Step number 3, ensure that time is shown on screen. Step number 4, make sure the camera is facing you. Please take a few minutes to set it up. Guidelines. Number 1, start. Ask your partner to video record the manifestation. Number 2, put Jnana, if you have, on your third eye. If you do not have Jnana, skip this step. Number 3, sit with your head, neck and spine in a straight line and your hands in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra, prayer gesture. Number 4, gently but continuously focus your awareness on your third eye and visualize Paramashiva in the form you cherish the most. Number 5, immerse into the feeling of love and gratitude you have for him. Number 6, request Paramashiva to manifest sacred powders, Ganga water, or honey in your partner's sealed test tube. Have zero expectation. Just enjoy the space of oneness with Paramashiva. Number 7, sit for 21 minutes in a space of complete unclutching, zero thought, while you are continuously chanting the Mahavakya. Number 8, check with your partner what you have materialized in the sealed test tube. Let us now listen to the spiritual instructions.
Instructions. Let's sit straight, the head, neck and back in a straight line, so that beautifully the Kundalini energy raises to the Agnya where the manifestation happens. Usually our awareness is on Muladhara, Swadhisthana and Manipuraha, where navel center, your below navel center. Here, bringing the awareness to your third eye and sitting straight will give us amazing possibility of power manifestation. Now let's understand few words that Bhagavan is repeatedly using. Shaktipada, oneness, be unclutched, initiation. So here first we will see in Bhagavan's words what is Shaktipada.
Let me give an introduction about what is Shaktipada process. Please understand. You would have seen or heard about how the chicken sits on the egg and hatches. Of course, in the modern countries, this does not happen. Machine sits on the egg and our egg sits on the machine. In those days, originally when hens and chicken were getting produced on the planet Earth, the hen used to sit on the chicken and hen used to sit on the egg and the chicken will come out of the egg. See, same way, Sadashiva, sitting means the ultimate cosmic energy sitting on the individual soul and making the individual soul into cosmic energy is Shaktipada. Hen sitting on the egg and making the chicken happen, same way. You may think, how come, what is going on here? That hen is only sitting just by the body heat of the hen, the egg is becoming chicken. Because no surgery is done and nothing goes inside. It's only sitting. Same way, it is just sitting. It's only the presence. The Shaktipada makes the individual soul into cosmic soul.
Beautifully, Bhagavan explained Shaktipada, how individual soul becomes cosmic soul. And let's listen to initiation.
You see, let me explain the initiation. Initiation is the process beyond your intellectual understanding. The transmission of lamp happens. Now, you understood something intellectually. There is something which is not understood, which can't be transmitted through the words. That is transmitted. That's what we call initiation. Sometimes I tell people that unless you are initiated, the techniques do not create the result. The reason is you do not grasp completely whatever is expressed through words. Initiation is like it just transmits whatever need to be transmitted beyond logic and beyond words. People ask me why to wear this bracelet or this mala and all those things. This all will remind you. Why bracelet in the hand? It will remind you, before eating, did you meditate? It's a constant reminders. Before eating, let you be reminded, did you do the meditation? That is why this bracelet. That is why this mala. That is why this external things. Sometimes this external things does a big job of reminding you constantly. That is why take the help of external things also, nothing wrong. People ask me, why we can just be spiritual without having external things? If you can, really you are welcome. But I don't think anybody who speaks in that way is successful. I've never seen people becoming successful avoiding the external things, just having internal things. And it is just a nice way of escaping from yourself.
Beautifully, Bhagavan explained initiation Let's listen to be unclutched. What is to be unclutched?
The thoughts, every thought is independent, illogical, unconnected, and unclutched because the gap between two thoughts is too small. The neutral space between the two thoughts is too small. You think all the thoughts are connected and it is in the shared form. It is not. By your very nature, every thought is independent, illogical, unconnected, and unclutched. Between every thought, you experience a neutral space. When you change the gear, whether you go from neutral to 1 or 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 or 4 to whatever gears you may change, but every time you have to come to the neutral space. Only then you can go to the next gear. Even if you want to go from 2 to 3, you have to come to the neutral space. Only then you can go to 3. Same way, between every thought, you experience a neutral space. You experience a neutral space between every thought. Between every thought. That neutral space, that silence is what I call peace or bliss. The peace which exists, the bliss which exists already in you, between every thought, the gap of the thought, the gap between the thoughts, that neutral space is the peace, is the bliss. When you understand you are unconnected, independent, illogical, and unclutched by your very nature, you will start experiencing the neutral space in you, neutral space which exists in you. You will start living from moment to moment in spontaneity. We need to understand one more thing. This technique of being unclutched, it does miracles in your being. In the body level, or in the mental level, or in the being level. In every level, when you understand the truth, by your very nature, you are unclutched. The tremendous quantum transformation. You take a quantum jump. The transformation happens in quantum, not step by step. Just one jump. You take a quantum jump and experience the truth awakening in you.
The oneness space is the most beautiful space that Bhagavan himself is explaining how we are ferocious. Beyond the tiredness and boredom, we can experience the space of oneness and be unclutched.
Oneness is not imagination. Oneness is not visualization. Oneness is not even just declaration. It is your existence. An idea which is you is oneness. The idea which has become part of your very space, which does not tire you or bore you by the passage of the time, is oneness. Mahadeva says in the Agama, Sadashiva beautifully explains in the Agama, Kala, Yama cannot tire you or bring boredom to you if something becomes your space. Devi achieved the blissful state and union with Mahadeva
on Shivaratri day, because our space became oneness, anything which brings tiredness or boredom has not yet become your space. If living in this body brings you tiredness and boredom, you are not going to be living in this body forever. When that becomes too much, you are going to drop it and move ahead. If you want to be in oneness forever, it should become part of your space, means you should become ferocious with you and break this very tiredness and boredom. Only when you deal you with the ferociousness, you break the tiredness and boredom. With that ferociousness, you need to make oneness as your space. Anything stands as an imagination in the length level, visualization in the breadth level, declaration in the depth level. If you open your time with ferociousness, it just sinks into space level. With this ferociousness, the time layer in you opens, and the oneness from imagination to visualization to declaration, it becomes your space, the way of existence.
The most important, Bhagavan says, being unclutched, understanding the Shaktipada, the oneness space, and chanting the Mahavakya. The Mahavakya, the power of the Mahavakya, pushes you into the higher states of consciousness. Here, Bhagavan himself explains how we can experience the Shaktipada, raised higher consciousness, through Mahavakya.
It's one of the very important revelation by Sadashiva. All the electronic equipments work when the electrons are made to vibrate. That happens by the light. When the electricity is supplied, the light particle vibrates, the electronic equipment starts working. Just like that, the spiritual power and the umbilical cord connection, spiritual umbilical cord connection between you and me, it works with sound particle. For example, my integrity with the cosmos, Sadashiva, Mahasadashiva, it reverberates in certain level of frequency. When you are integrated to me, you also start reverberating in the same frequency. If your integrity goes down, that is when you start connecting with me only as a manager or this organization head or your Purvashram father, mother. Your connection with me goes down to the lower level if the integrity gets reduced. I was wondering, what is the way we can bring people to the higher integrity immediately and the feeling connection, so they start manifesting the powers, they start staying in the space of Sadashivatva. Sadashiva revealed a beautiful sound. I can tell you, this is like a password. At any point, if you are not able to bring yourself to oneness, you are a little shaken, disturbed, or for some reason, you are not able to bring yourself to oneness. This is like a password. You type, whether your mind feels connected or not, the energy will start flowing in you beyond the depth dimension. You see, all mind oscillation, restlessness, all mental idea based feeling connected or not feeling connected is only length, breadth, depth level, not in the space level. But this sound will straight infuse energy from the space level. Like for example, if the power goes off, automatically the generator will get switched on and the power supply will be going on. So end result will not be lost. Whether government power supply or the generator power supply, end result will not be stopped. So whenever you feel little that oneness is, you are not catching it, just feed this password. Immediately the oneness will open up and you will start manifesting the powers, energy, and the whole space will shift. It is directly from Sadashiva. It's a beautiful sound. I don't even want to say it's a mantra. It is not even a mantra because there is no meaning in it. You can't derive a meaning for it. It just flashed like a password for all the initiations I am giving. One single password for all the initiations I am giving. And the initiations I gave, I am giving, I will be giving for all that. This is like one password. Don't even repeat like a mantra. Just feed like a password and it will just open up. Your whole being will open up. Listen carefully. It starts with the vibration Om. Listen and then repeat. Om. Very deep. Om. Nithyananda. Nithyananda. Maha Sadashivoham.
So Bhagavan gave beautiful explanation of how you can be in Shaktipada. Visualize Paramashiva who has come down as Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam from Kailasha. Remembering Paramashiva in your third eye, again and again, bringing your awareness to your third eye simply makes you manifest powers. Absolute unclutching. How Bhagavan said, the neutral zone, nothing ever touches the screen. Like same way, the movie does not touch the screen, whether it is happening in ferocious or any soft, beautiful, nothing touches the screen. Be unclutched like the screen. And to experience the state of Paramashiva, your inner space being completely unclutched. Complete completion to experience the space of Paramashiva. Inside us, the complete completion happens when we are in tune with Paramashiva. That everything is redundant and irrelevant. The essence of completion is irrelevant. Nothing matters in your life because everything is complete completion. Oneness with Paramashiva. How Bhagavan said, in ferocious breaking the boredom and tiredness, just being in the space of oneness with Paramashiva to manifest the powers of Paramashiva. Tyaga as Paramashiva is your only strength, now declaring complete integrity with Bhagavan to experience the being of Paramashiva. How Bhagavan said, chanting the Mahavakya raises your frequency and that is your only strength to manifest any reality. Being in this beautiful space of Paramashiva, you can experience such a beautiful space, state, powers, and becoming the being of Paramashiva, manifesting whatever you want. Now, you will be manifesting the powers, watching the oneness capsule, and chanting the Mahavakya, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. We'll be playing the Mahavakya and the oneness capsule for you to manifest powers. At end of the Mahavakya, you can start with the verification and sharing and causing. Thank you.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Verification process. Please ensure to thoroughly verify the following. Number 1. Verify that the time and date stamp appear on your video. Number 2. Verify that your partner's video has a wide angle, horizontal view, and that your partner's sealed test tube is in clear full view. Number 3. Verify that you have not edited your video in any way and that the camera has not moved. Number 4. Verify that your video recording is continuous, without stopping and restarting during the manifestation process. Number 5. Verify that the sacred powder, Ganga water, or honey materialize within your partner's sealed test tube on their own. Now that the verification process is complete, the next instructions will show you how to upload and share your video. Thank you so much for your participation.
Beautiful. We are at the end of the power manifestation, but most important part of the power manifestation. Here, we are going to share all that you have manifested with the social media groups. Here we have Sri Kailasha Kotyar Manifesting Power groups. Thousands of people are part of that. And you can share there and you can post your powerful cognition and the videos. The link is tinyurl.com/power manifestation. It is at the left corner of the page. You can click on it and you can post your beautiful experience in the power manifestation group. Why sharing and causing is very important part of power manifestation. Bhagavan beautifully explains that sharing is pulling us out of delusion and causing is liberating us. We are the ones who need to start experiencing the higher states of reality, how we need to exist. Beautifully, Bhagavan explains when you are sharing with others the ultimate beautiful multidimensional logic, your brain rewires into the higher space of consciousness, the Turyatita state. Again and again, when you experience even a little bit, you share with the world, your experience becomes reality. Same thing when you cause others to come and get initiated for higher reality, you are caused into the higher purpose, the ultimate reality. Bhagavan says extreme causing, extreme power manifestation is extreme causing. So beautifully he explains how our strength is declared on Paramashiva. The power manifestation happens exactly in tune to that. And sharing with the world, continuously reiterating ourselves the experience that we had from the powerful cognition and manifesting the space of Paramashiva, the state of Paramashiva, the beings of Paramashiva, we become Paramashiva. Go on sharing and causing, which is the most important part of how you have experienced your reality. When you go to a temple, we pray and we see that beautiful experience happen in us, and then share with the world that how amazing the temple experience has manifested as your reality. Same way, when you manifest powers, when you share with the world, it becomes more and more the depth cognition of you, and you will be experiencing more powers. Even if you're manifested very small, it does not matter the quantity. Bhagavan says the quality is important. If it is authentic, please go ahead and share with the world. Do not doubt, have self-doubt, self-denial, self-hatred come and block anything. Experience the ultimate in deep seeking and gratitude. Bhagavan manifest in you with a deep prayer, that asking Bhagavan to make this reality as your existential reality. With that, let's end with the Purna Mantra. Thanking Bhagavan for all these great experience. We have come to the end of the Power Manifestation course, and we end with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavate Sri Nithyananda Parameshivam Paduka Arpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you for participating in the Jnana Paddhati, Nithyananda Jnana Paddhati course. Please go ahead and select more power manifestation and every day experience the ultimate reality for yourself. Nithyananda.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham